Res.
Welcome back to Red to Res. I had to think about if I was going to report this because I feel like one of the bad guys, ruining one of Nintendo's surprises before the announcement. But for the sake of news, I'm going to go ahead and post a video on it. Back in April, there were some data miners who looked into the one of the recent patches, and they found some Ryu from Street Fighter and Roy file names, and everybody was a little speculation. Some people were apprehensive considering that some false leaks in the past, but we did have the major ESRB leak that got us most of our information before the game's release, so people took it with a grain of salt. Now, with the recent Japanese patch for the game releasing a tad bit early, data miners have gone in and they have found legit Ryu and Roy are in the game. Expect the announcement June 14th at I think it's 7:45 Pacific time. I think it's 10:45 Eastern time. They're gonna have a Smash Bros. Particular Direct where it's just gonna be dedicated to the future of the series. So they'll probably show that, and then afterwards they'll have the Nintendo World Championship, and then E3 basically starts with Bethesda's press conference at the later on at the end of the night. So during the Smash Bros. Direct, nobody knew what was going to happen. But now that we have, now that data miners have gone in and looked at what's in it, they have found Ryu and Roy in the game fully. As you can see, as the video has been playing, they have Ryu from Street Fighters. I think it's Classic Mode or All-Star Mode. The little ending snippet you have that shows, oh hey, you beat this game. We have Ryu, then it's Roy, then it's Lucas. Now, I'm a little odded out, as most are, by the inclusion of these characters. It just seems like such a random, decision. I don't know if they arbitrarily said, hey, we have Capcom's license for Mega Man. Why don't we just include another fighter character? But, Roy, Roy's our boy and everything, but to have another Marth clone after Lucina, it feels like a punch in the gut. And his special moves have also been released. And I know there's some differentiation, but not enough in my opinion to actually justify. Unless barely any amount of work went into him and the real work went into Ryu, then I can understand including him. But it just another Marth clone, really. So I haven't myself looked too much into leaks. I don't want to be spoiled too much. I'll wait for the direct. So I don't know all his special attacks, and I don't know his customization. So maybe there'll be enough to differentiate himself from Marth more than Lucina did. But I just like I said, to have not only another Fire Emblem character, which at the end of the day I'm okay with, because I love the series, but to have another Fire Emblem character on top of it being a Marth clone, it just seems like a waste of space. That being said, Fire Emblem is a popular franchise, and I do enjoy them getting, some more spotlight. This is like, oh, another swordsman, and the other stuff I said before. It just seems like it's repetition for the sake of repetition. Now, it is a returning vet from Melee, so that's kind of cool. It almost does feel like Nintendo saw Project Dem and they were like, okay, these people really want Mewtwo and Roy. We're going to give them Mewtwo and Roy in the next game. So I guess I shouldn't complain too much. Ryu, on the other hand, is a very interesting addition. I'm kind of left feeling why, just because there are Virtual Console Street Fighter games on the Nintendo consoles, but Street Fighter 5, which it will be Super by the end of 2 years from now. Street Fighter 5 is exclusive to Sony and PC, but console wise it's exclusive to Sony, and they've gone on the record saying this is being I don't know if it's published, but this is done in partnership with Sony. This isn't getting ported anywhere else. So the last major installation in the franchise was Super Street Fighter 4 that hit a Nintendo console, and that was on Nintendo 3DS. So obviously, as you can see, Roy is taking a cue from Street Fighter 4 as opposed to Street Fighter 5. As you can see in the video, if it's not showing up now, a little bit later, it's coming out of Street Fighter 4. So he has, not as inky or not as brawly of an appearance, because Street Fighter 5 appears to be still relying on the ink, but they want to make it looks like it's a little bit grittier. That's kind of a relative term, so it doesn't really say much. But the character design is clearly taken from Super Street Fighter 4, which again was the last Nintendo last game to come out on a Nintendo console, last main game anyway. In addition to those leaks, obviously, Lucas was leaked. All his movesets were leaked as well, but that was expected. That's less of a surprise because we already knew he was coming out, so it's not, I'm not really, Lucas, he's really cool. I'm happy Earthbound has another representative. It just makes sense. More series to have, more representatives. That being said, I still fully expect Splatoon to become a character. As you can see, they have the trophy that's being added to the game, alongside, I think, a Ken trophy, which is cool because, in my opinion, whenever you have Ryu, you should have Ken as well. And so even if he's not going to be as like a character, it's cool to have him as a trophy. But yeah, Splatoon has a model ready. They created it for the trophy, and I just think that's just, them biding their time until, they do another wave of Splatoon cross-promotion, and then they'll announce Splatoon as a character. I still think that it's going to be a character. It's just too and that's a character I would rather have Splatoon than Ryu and Roy, but that's just me personally. I just think it's something. It's Nintendo, another Nintendo's not their first IP in a while because they have Rhythm Heaven, they have some Rusty's, but it's still a let's be honest, it's one of their newest major IPs that they really pushed, and the moveset could be really interesting. You have ranged attacks with the shooter. You can have melee with the splatting of the the rolling paintbrush. So cross promotion, maybe Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush as well. I just think Splatoon is just ripe for DLC. And as you saw, they have the Ryu stage. They're adding a Street Fighter stage. So a Splatoon again, you can have so much fun with the stage for Splatoon. You can have ink all over the battlefield. It can have some status effects on the characters. In addition to that, as you saw, they also have a Mega Man X costume coming for the Mii. I believe we already knew that. They also have Isabella for Mii Gunner. She has like some weird party hat, but I guess poop, the pop out surprises. I don't know if she was known, but KK Slider has been known for a while, so she was expected considering she's one of the new faces of Animal Crossing. We also showed off Kirby's other hats. Anytime a new character is added, Kirby has to get new hats. So his I like how they look, especially like Ryu's. It just looks badass with the red bandana. Street Fighter's logo is just the SF, which is there's not much you could really do for it. That's I never really thought of a logo for Street Fighter. So at the franchise title has always been written the same way. So I fully expect that to be reflected in the Street Fighter logo. So it's just the SF. So that makes sense. They also showed his alternate colors for both Ryu and Roy. Not much to be said. It doesn't look like there's any special costumes like some of the other characters have had. Then again, what really special costumes could they have? You could have maybe Ken at the most because they have similar movesets, but that's kind of stretching it. Adding a whole nother character. Plus, it probably licenses. I don't know because they came out with the trophy, so maybe they do have a character design ready. But again, alternate costumes. There's not much to be said about them. There's also an icon for Dreamland 64 from Nintendo 64, and I think it's just an icon. I don't think they actually have the stage in yet, but I'm sure that shows that this will probably also be an announcement because the direct or mini direct is concentrated on Smash's future. So I'm sure they'll just announce we're going to be bringing more 64 stages, more retro stages back. So I'm sure they'll just show that icon, but I don't think that'll be out until maybe midsummer. And that basically wraps up the leaks. I got my information and my pictures. I'm going to give credit out to Random Talking Bush on Twitter. He basically leaked everything. And again, I feel really bad leaking it just because I hate ruining surprises. But in accordance with how news works, if it comes out, you got to report it. I made sure I didn't include all of the stuff that was leaked. I'll leave some for you guys to either look for on your own or just wait for the direct to actually see. Smash Reddit is another place that I was looking at for some info. Shout out to the Smash Reddit. It's a good place. Smash boards as well. Just making sure I give credit to everywhere that I got this information from. Wrapping up the video. So Lucas, they're already in the game. So there's a possibility that at that direct, they'll be like, oh, hey, not only is Lucas coming out today, Ryu and Roy. I mean, they've already been in stages since April when we saw their first inkling of their inclusion with the file names. So there's a possibility that, they'll be like, oh, hey, after the direct, these characters are available. At the same time, I just feels kind of front loaded. Why not just space it out? So there was a possibility that Lucas will come out the 14th. Ryu might come out, a couple weeks after, maybe for July, and then Roy come out August, and then character a month, and not to mention stages, because we already know we're getting the stage from Ryu, and then in September maybe the Smash, or I think October is when the Smash Ball results come out. So maybe September we'll have just a couple more stages, or we'll have Splatoon announced as a character, and then after that it'll just be the Smash Ball characters. So there's they're in the game as the data miners show, so there's a possibility that we will get them on June 14th, but I'm betting on them spacing it out a little bit, just because for them to just announce all three at the same time, it's really cool, because hype E3, but there's so many other things that they're going to be doing and announcing that they don't need to front load it in such a manner. That was a lot. So what do you think, guys? Comment, subscribe, let us know what you think about the inclusion of these characters, and get ready for E3. This Sunday, here we go, and we're going to be posting responses and reactions, maybe some trailers, and how we feel, how we did guessing and revealing information to you guys. So until next time, take it easy, keep it sleazy, and sure you can!
Check it out. Subscribe.